What's up, Buffalo Bills fans? Here we are. New head coach introduced today officially, formally by the organization, by the owner. Only him, Whaley up there speaking, predominantly McDermott, which was to be expected. Pretty much everything that was expected in terms of the way he conducted himself, the way he spoke. Very cool, calm, collected, took all the questions, pretty much the standard answers for a lot of them in terms of, we're evaluating everybody. It's um, non-committal about Tyrod Taylor, I would say, would be the pick of the litter. Uh, Thoroughly evaluating was the phrase he used. Take that for what it's worth. I can't believe that the status of the starting quarterback the year prior wasn't discussed going forward, given his contract status, how that affects the roster now under his watch and the salary cap implications that would affect other workings of that roster. So I'm pretty sure that was hashed out in the hiring process. So that's to be determined, but I'm sure it'll veil itself pretty soon. The staff sort of getting filled out, uh, drips and drabs. Juan Castillo, defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier. Bills lost out on Mike McCoy, also on Bill Musgrave, both landing in Denver, and that's what the allure of two young quarterbacks who definitely I feel have much better quarterback traits than Tyrod Taylor. Say what you want about Simeon, he's younger than Taylor by almost 4 years. Played behind a not as good an offensive line as Taylor did. Not supported by near the run game Taylor was. So, a lot of the staunch Taylor supporters will say, well, the running he does helps the running game, but I could counter that by saying there's a number of sacks that he takes that are unwarranted. There's a number of throws that he misses or just doesn't see, or doesn't, just flat out doesn't make, where he seems to be looking, doesn't. Guys were running wide open, what I like to call running for fun all season, and he wasn't hitting them. So you got this sect of Bills fans that say, hey, get him more weapons, have healthy Sammy. So you have to operate under the guise of everybody has to be healthy and the running game has to be firing on all cylinders and the defense has to be playing lights out for this guy to succeed. That's unrealistic. During the course of a 16-game season, that's unrealistic because he's the guy that you can pretty much manage to keep healthy the longest. Even then, that's not easy. There's still luck involved there, but he can do things to protect himself. And his style of play and his size and build, I don't feel is sustainable because once he loses that ability to be able to move, and he has to rely more on throwing the football, it's not going to be good. And where I feel that McDermott wants to go with the offense is more of a quick hitting, three-step drop, rhythm, timing, oriented passing game that just we're talking about Pluto and the moon from what Taylor does. Taylor very rarely takes those 1, 2, 3 bam balls out. He takes 1, 2, 3, look, it's not there, scramble, look again. That's where he seems to either make that run or some of his better plays in the passing game would come off of those plays. But it's tough. I just don't see them financially style of play going forward. I feel like the rift there is too much, and I think it'd be a better break for both. Also, the same with Anthony Lynn. There's this theory out there that pressing the reset button without Tyrod. I mean, who was Tyrod before the Bills got him? Who was he? Not taking anything away from him, but he toiled around in free agency. It's not like this hidden gem was out there. Again, I stated prior that we all like the idea. We all like what we envisioned him to be, but he's not that. Same with Rex. Same with a lot of guys. So I just think a separation here, mutual, would be best. I think there's, the sitting, the business decision, which was the smart decision in the last game of the year, in a meaningless game. You cover your bases there, draft-wise, contractually, and he still had to have groin surgery, which he's going to be able to recover from before the start of the year. So, but getting back to McDermott, seemed very in control of the whole situation. It wasn't, I told you guys the first one, I wouldn't expect him to win press conference. I didn't feel like that was even necessary, and I think the organization could have cared less about that. I was surprised they held it in the field house. Thought they'd keep it more low key this time and hold it inside in the bigger press conference room that they have. But no, they did the field house treatment, which is cool. Did the whole little vignettes on the website of him coming in, getting a standing ovation, and with his family and stuff. So good honeymoon period. You know how it goes now. I don't think the guy's afraid of hard work. I don't think the guy's afraid to get his nose dirty. I don't think he's afraid to get in players' crosshairs and get them riled up and get them pissed off. I don't think he's in there trying to play nice, which is good. You don't need to be these guys' best friends. You need to be their head coach, and that's a plus. I don't think we'll have guys sleeping in meetings anymore. If you guys are on Snapchat, there's a few instances where Aaron Williams is on Snapchat and he's got there, and the one player in particular was just totally out cold was Corey White. I know that for a fact because he yelled, "Corey, wake your ass up," and he was kind of like, in a joking way, but he was kind of like, "Oh." And then there was another time where he had the phone reversed and he was looking at it like this, and the guy behind him was just out cold. I know the player sitting next to him was Preston Brown. I don't know who the player was next to Preston Brown, but he was knocked the fuck out. And you could hear a coach, I don't know who it was, talking. You could hear him talking, very, somebody was talking to a group of people, and there's Williams. But again, that's all just a little snippet what was going on. Tyler Dunn on a podcast he did recently with Tim Graham, talking about a defensive player yelling out in the locker room the day after Rob and Rex were fired. That firing is music to my ears. That's why I say you see a lot of things, and this is where I say, we're veteran players and senior leadership come into play, and there's guys, granted Eric Wood was hurt, Kyle has been championed as a leader. Your head coach and your quarterback need to be your leaders in the locker room, in the facility, amongst the team. Those need to be your leaders, and you need to have good, strong staff that's not afraid to ruffle feathers and has the backing of the head coach and has the backing of the organization. And is there not going to be any picking of choosing of sides? Well, this is my guy, and that's why Whaley here has to play nice, given what he's put forth, like I alluded to in my prior video, with the lack of draft success, the embarrassing of the organization. Only, unfortunately, in a kind of a sad way for the San Diego Charger fans, now the Los Angeles Chargers, and I think about that, and I think about how that could have been the Bills. We have to remind ourselves that could have been us. That could have been the Bills moving and being rebranded and defunct, and there's no more. I mean, imagine how lost we would have been. No more videos, no more. I couldn't get up here and talk to you guys anymore. I really couldn't, in good faith, talk about another football team. or organization with the passion and the way I talk about this one. So it would have been empty for me. Um, a lot of, but hopefully, you know, I don't know. It's just a bad situation for those fans there. But a lot of Bills related news, sort of a funnier one, more lighthearted one, but funny nonetheless, where Doug Marrone being introduced to Jacksonville. And if you watch that press conference, obviously Tom Coughlin was the star of the show, and thankfully he was up there. But you had Doug Marrone fielding a question about, you know, how do we know if you don't win, you know, double-digit games here, you're not going to dip on us like you did in Syracuse and in Buffalo. And the facial expression changed, and he kind of slobbered his way through through his answer, which wasn't really an answer. It was just, you could just tell he was really pissed about getting that question. Like, he's got a smile, then he gets the question. It's just like, it's just instant change. It was pretty funny. Anthony Lynn, what was thought to be shoo-in head coach of the Buffalo Bills, now the head coach for the Los Angeles Chargers, who the Bills will be visiting in the 2017 season. Boy, how things change and things will come full circle. It'll be interesting to watch how he administers his staff, how he fills it out. And that's another thing I'm going to touch on is, don't worry about the staff not getting filled out so fast, because generally that gets finished during or at the end of Senior Bowl weekend, which, if you don't know or haven't followed the NFL for a very long time, it's kind of like it's pretty much it's an unofficial job fair for coaches that are looking for work, because their agents are all in the same place. They're down there for the players with coaches, and it's just like a big, and then shortly thereafter you've got, again, this stuff's going to come up on us fast, and then you're going to have the combine in about a month and a week or so. So a lot of stuff is going to start rolling in, and I would suspect the staff would be filled out in about a week and a few days. Namely, obviously us, we're waiting for the offensive coordinator is, and again, it's not an easy sell, because there's going to be wholesale changes there. Juan Castillo has already been named the run game coordinator, offensive line coach. Linebacker coach has been named. Crossman was the only guy retained. His unit hasn't been bad, really. This year it was pretty good. There's been some inconsistencies. It was more particularly in his first year. I think you'd like to get a better returner. I think the team would even though Tate didn't do too bad this year, I have to give it to Tate. He did a pretty good job in coverage and in returns, and that's, they didn't get anything out of Colt Anderson, who they counted on being a prime player for them. Alexander ended up doing what he did for the defense, which was really good. Really good guy, really great story. Probably the best story, aside from McCoy, player-related wise, of the Bills' 16th season was Lorenzo Alexander, LaShawn McCoy. And this video is pretty much going to be about the roster, the guys we like, the guys you guys might like going forward, and the quarterback situation. Do I think they're going to draft a quarterback? Yeah, at some point in this draft, yes, I think they draft a quarterback, and I think they sign a quarterback. I think we see a situation much like 14, where you have 2 or 3 horses in the race challenging for the job, because you can't just hand it over to a guy, and for them to be non-committal about a guy that started for them 2 years prior, that was the hand-picked favorite of the former head coach, generally doesn't translate to the new guy. So, read into that what you may, but I think we'll probably be looking at a new starting quarterback for the Bills in this upcoming season, 2017. So we'll all just wait and see who that might be, and hopefully it'll be a guy much like McDermott, where we don't have to talk about firings and replacing key positions every other year. It's soul sucking. I don't like doing these videos. I don't like sitting around doing these videos with you guys talking about firing people and changes. You make tweaks to your staff here and there. Yeah, all organizations do that, but you know, the type of wholesale changes this team's gone through, it's just souls. It's mind sucking. It really is. But with any luck, with any luck, you know, this will get turned around somehow, some way. By and again, I said it's going to take a lot more than just McDermott. It's going to be collaborative. It has to be. You know what? The Pagulas have to see this for what it is and be like, you know, this guy has autonomy, and if he feels like there's people in that building that are not enabling him or helping him, assisting him in doing his job and getting the football team better, or adding players or being political about what play they need to go. No matter who they are, they need to be shown the door. We know EJ is no longer a part of the roster, you know, so that whole Whaley favoritism thing, maybe that story, you know, how Buddy Nix and Doug Marrone, who was very much part of that pick, never get their fat held to the fire for it is beyond me. Not to say Whaley wasn't a constituent of it, but still, they were right there. Same deal with a guy that the A-listers, the Bills didn't interview, Josh McDaniels, and how he doesn't get branded as the guy who had a hand in drafting Tim Tebow to be the face and franchise quarterback of Denver Broncos. I don't know how he doesn't get tied to that pick. It's just like he's somehow devoid of that. Because he's there for that. I just don't get that. You know, how did he do with his 1 year in St. Louis when they were St. Louis Rams? How did he do there as the OC? Not too well. Tom Brady makes a lot of people look really, really good. So take that for what it's worth. Again, it's not about sex appeal. It's not about sizzle. It's about substance. And I hope this guy, he didn't seem like he was too concerned with impress people and, you know, and being all rah rah and yap yap and yuck yuck and rhetoric and, you know, the pounding the lectern, none of that kind of pizzazz. It was just, look, here to coach, here to work hard, gonna do our damnedest to win. Okay, we're gonna find out. So we'll see. I know I don't have much. I bought a new webcam. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference. The quality's a bit better. I saw the last few preceding videos, and I was like, ugh, these are pretty piss poor quality wise, maybe even content wise. They have to. A situation had to be rectified, and I went out and got one. And last night I posted a video, and the sound was messed up. I didn't install a driver correctly, or I did something wrong, adjusting something, and I didn't get it figured out. So like I was so tired, and it was like way after midnight, and I was just like, screw it. I deleted the video, and it's the first chance I'm getting to do it. I figured the issue out during the afternoon, and hopefully this is all good. Sounds good. I did like multiple sound checks, so hopefully this video will be good to go. So Bills fans, we have a defensive coordinator, we have, you know, a run game coordinator, which is basically a guy who's responsible for blocking schemes, and I don't know, he's a glorified offensive line coach. That's pretty much the gist of it. I think we'll see a whole new staff pretty much. I don't know about the strength staff. I do know, well, we know Crossman's been retained. I don't know about any of the assistants. I doubt we'll see any of the defensive assistants retained. I doubt we'll see any offensive assistants retained. Maybe a quality control coach. I'm not sure. So we'll wait to see about that. But that's good. I'm not looking for a big staff. I'm not looking for this, you know, like the 26, 27 head assistant coaches. I'm looking for The staff could be Spartan and it could be just good, just good, just solid people. Not people, because they're working. They have to do their jobs. They don't have an assistant to an assistant to an assistant, and then there's a quality control person. It's like, come on, who's doing what? So I just think there was way too many blurred lines and crossed wires with that past regime of coaches, unfortunately. But Bills fans, you have a good weekend. Enjoy your weekend. It's 11:09 here on the East Coast in northern New Jersey. You guys, wherever you are, be safe, enjoy, have fun. Start of the new year. Hopefully, start of a new era in Bills football, winning football, consistent, competitive football. One other thing, I just hated to see how they just seemed so bullied around last year, and I hate that. I hate when the Bills just get pushed around all over the field, whether it's in a passing situation or just a running situation. I just hate to see them get defensively just abused. And then offensively, there's just the long stretches of games where nothing would happen, and they would grab either garbage points in garbage time, or they would, have a too little, too late run, not be able to answer fast enough, or just even pick up some first downs to stop the bleeding and give the defense a blow. Maybe obviously give them some time to try to figure out what the offense is doing to them, so it all works in concert. But all right, Bills fans, I'll leave you alone. Video's going on 22 minutes. Yesterday was 33. No, I think it was a little over 30, and probably have forgotten a lot of what I talked about. I answered some fan some. When I say fan, I'm no celebrity. I'm nobody special here. Some questions from viewers, and there was a few, mostly about the quarterback. I kind of touched on that just before. There was one in particular saying that I wanted people fired, essentially, and that I want, like, I need to see people fired, or I'm like, the same good old boy, pretty much. It was worded, I think Spellcheck kind of screwed this guy over with his comment, and for me, no. Again, something I touched on prior. I don't want to see people fired. I don't care, who is and what. I mean, I love Deshaun Watson. My favorite quarterback in this draft, to be honest, is Deshaun Kaiser. I like Deshaun Kaiser a lot. I like Watson a lot. I think Trubisky is going to probably be gone. I don't know if Kaiser or Watson will be there. But also I like Mike Williams. I like Malik Hooker. So I think there's a good block of players that this team can use at positions of need. Free agents I like Tony Jefferson, the safety from Arizona. I think he's perfect. And just what they need, because this team needs safeties. It needs another wide receiver opposite Sammy Watkins, and just insurance for Sammy in case he gets hurt. Because Sammy has dealt with some injury issues last year. He's played through some. This year in particular, the guy played. He could have shut it down. He did not. When what McCoy did at the end of the year, they didn't let him back out there, but still trying to play with a high ankle sprain. Give that guy credit, man. Especially after the year he had, wanting to do that in a meaningless game. So, all right, I've rambled on enough, guys. You enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Have a good one. Let me know what you think. Better quality video, obviously. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Not going to make me any less ugly than I am. Maybe. Or maybe it's going to reveal more of it. So, you guys have a good one. Take care.